Hey guys, welcome to the IWCA Show. I'm your host, Gabe Gutierrez, and I am so happy to have with us Sheila Smeltzer. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you. We're glad to have you. This is going to be the second episode of the new IWCA reboot. So thanks for joining us. How's everything going for you?
Oh, it's going great, Gabe. I really appreciate you having me on today.
Absolutely. Well, we
Yeah.
really wanted to get to know you a little better. You are the president-elect. So
Yes.
starting the next session, you're going to be leading the organization. So, and we're so excited to have you and just see what you have to bring to the IWCA. You've been a very active and important part of it for so long as it is. So we're really looking forward to your leadership. How are you feeling about it? Are you excited? Are you nervous? What's your feelings?
I'm totally ready. I mean, I've always been an IWCA girl ever since
Yeah.
day one. I just, ever since I first went to when I went to my very first convention, it was back in 2007. I just love the people. Some of the people I met at that very first convention are some of my best friends in the industry still today.
Nice.
They're people that I can trust and confide in, and people that have helped me along the way and, growing and running my business. So
I think that's
I fell into window cleaning totally. I mean, this is not something that I grew up and said I wanted to do. So,
well,
it was discovering that passion by going to convention. It just took off from there.
so let's talk about how you got into window cleaning. Like, what was your background? I knew what you weren't window cleaner. So what were you doing before? How did you get interested in it?
It's actually a pretty crazy story. My former husband was a window cleaner by trade. Grew up high school, college. He always cleaned windows. When we met in Colorado, we got married and decided to move to North Carolina. And where we moved to North Carolina, there were no window cleaning companies.
Wow.
So
Just saw
naturally started a
dollar
window
signs in his
cleaning
eyes, right?
company. So we're sole proprietors. We did that for about 5 going on 6 years. We had 1 employee. Okay. And things started to get very rocky in our relationship. So it was kind of a situation, without me giving too many details, where I was kind of babysitting him. And I can say this because it's really well known knowledge, and it's all good.
Yeah.
But and we just had this huge blowout at work one day, and we kind of like pulled into his mom and dad's driveway, and we divided all the
Wow.
equipment, and like our 1 employee was standing there, and I was like,
Oh man.
oh my God, Joel, I'm so sorry. You can stay with Andy. You can go with me. And he said, oh no, Sheila, I stay with you. And from that point on, that is the person that taught me how to do the work.
Nice.
So at that point, I was a single mom. I had a 3 and 5-year-old daughter. He taught me how to do the work. I was the mom that dropped my kids off in the work truck that had power washing equipment and ladders on the top, and all the other moms were driving Escalades.
Right.
And with my 1 employee in the side seat, but he taught me how to clean gutters. He taught me how to wash houses. He taught me how to clean windows. We were doing a lot of post-construction window cleaning back then,
Yeah.
which we still do quite a bit today, but very selectively.
Sure.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, from there, I connected with a business coach about, I slowly started grow employees, connected with a local business coach about 7 going on 8 years ago. And that's when I said, I was going to conventions and going to trade shows, and I was like, man, people are really being successful doing this. And I was just still out in the field, just trying to make ends meet.
Right.
And I said, I got to turn this into a business. So I made up my mind, hired the coach, and today we've got 25 on staff, 10 service trucks. We do commercial janitorial. So yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
So what year was that when you started on your own, apart from your ex-husband?
It would have been 2007, 2008. My first convention was 2007. And I went on a scholarship, an IWCA scholarship.
Oh, look at that.
I won the scholarship.
So cool.
Showed up. I was so green. I knew nothing my first show.
That was the same thing with me. The first time I went was a trade. I just went for the trade part. I just wanted to see what equipment there was. But the second time I went for the full thing, and same thing, just wide-eyed ear looking around. All these
Yeah.
people seem to know everybody and seem to know what was going on. And I just was just trying to get somewhere where I was inconspicuous, you know.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's great
Yeah.
that you learned from it though. So did you become A+ Pro Services right then, or was that down the road?
We were A+ professional window cleaning. I incorporated the business in probably 2010. We became A+ Pro Services Inc. Because we do a lot of exterior cleaning, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, house washing, of course, buildings as well. So, but we're all mid-rise, low-rise, and ground level residential.
Okay, very
Yep.
cool. So 3 years you incorporate. That's, I mean, that's pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, it was ultimately it was a tax decision.
It
Right?
always is.
It was, yeah, it was recommended by my accountant, but yeah, we incorporated, and so yeah, that was it. It when you look back on it, it seems it was so long ago. I mean, my daughters are now 21 and 23, and both of them coincidentally work in the company, which is
Well,
so
that's what I was
fun.
going to ask. I said, now, are they interested in it? Or are they like, no, I'm going to do anything but windows?
I just very quick side story, and it's just amazing to me because you know you grow your business and you're always thinking about what your exit plan is. And during COVID, my daughter was in school down in Florida in college, and they got kicked out of school. And she said, "Hey, Mom, can I come back and work with you for a while? And by the way, I'm bringing my boyfriend." And I said, "Yeah, you know, because at that time I need somebody to answer the phones." And she had grown up listening to me talk to clients on the phone. I knew she'd be great at it. And fast forward a year, we were at a chamber breakfast, and we were going around the room introducing ourselves, and I did my spiel, and she stood up right behind me and she said, "Hi, I'm Sadie Smeltzer. I'm Sheila in training." And the whole
That's so
room
cute.
busted out laughing. But I've got to tell you, Gabe, something hit me in my heart where I was like, holy crap, she's serious about this.
Yeah.
So now it's like I'm envisioning my company more on a legacy term, you know.
Yes.
It's different. It changes things.
It does.
And my younger daughter, she's a technician. She's still in college, so she works full time and does school, and she'll be going off to school. So I'll probably lose her. You never know if she'll come back.
Sure.
So
that's awesome. That gives me hope, because I've already told my daughter, look, you will learn how to clean windows. Now, you don't have to do window cleaning for your business, you know, or whatever you want to do in life, but you are going to learn how to clean windows. And my hope is that I plant enough interest and seeds in her that she sees this is something that she'll want to come on and join us in the business and do. But you know, I'll never push her that way. But she's going to learn. She's going to get the bug.
They have to. It's the family business. But you know what the difference is? It's them making up their mind that they want to do it. You know, Sadie came to me and said, "Mom, I want to do this." If I would have asked her, it would never be the same situation.
Yeah, correct.
Absolutely. So food for thought for anybody that wants to pass the company on to their kids.
Very cool. So when did you start attending conventions then? Like what year were you starting to kind of get the feel for the IWCA?
So it was 2007. Again, I went on a scholarship. When my husband and I split up, we were actually in the process of being sued for scratch glass on a multi-unit townhome complex that was very high end, to the tune of $65,000. It was a judgment in both of our names. My husband was kind of nowhere to be found. I had to figure out what in the heck was going on. And again, I knew nothing. I mean, I answered phones and scheduled and raised my kids as a stay-at-home mom. I didn't know anything about what was going on with this glass. And I did a search online, and I found IWCA. That was back in the Dan Field days, and he was in the glass committee. Some of those people on that glass committee, I mean, honestly, they just absolutely changed my thought process on how we approach glass as window cleaners. Before I ever even really knew anything about cleaning glass. So, but it took me a few years. I fought the battle. Insurance company ended up settling, but yeah, that's what started my passion in this whole thing. You know, it's like, it's all the bad things that happen to us. It's what we do with it that changes the whole trajectory. So, it's crazy to look back on it, but glass is my passion now. I mean, without a doubt.
Well, we're going to have you come back so we can talk to you about your
I can't wait.
expertise in the glass committee. So we're going to enjoy that discussion. Well, I think you hit on something really important, and this is for members, either members who are new, but also people who are thinking about becoming members. The value in the membership comes in how you use it. And so for you, it became a tool to help protect your company. And for me, it was just learning how to get organized and manage a business. I mean, that's same thing. I came into the window cleaning from the side. So I mean, I knew how to clean windows. I didn't really know how to run a business. And once I saw the value of the IWCA to help me learn all the things I didn't know and what I needed to learn, that's when it kind of became special to me and made me want to be more involved in it to help other window cleaners who might be struggling with the same things that I had. So that's just kind of a good rule of thumb. If you're going to join the IWCA and truly benefit from it, you have to see what it can give you to make it an added value to your company or to you as an owner, either by profit or by organization, or just saving you headaches or protecting your company from lawsuits, frivolous or whatever it may be. Just knowing you got to know what you don't know so you can protect yourself. So I think that's really neat that you did that.
Thank you. You get out what you put in. I mean, it's really with everything, but when it comes to trade organizations, I mean, you can spend the membership fee and sit back and say, well, that was a waste of money. But if you just get involved, or if you pay attention to what's going on and you use the tools, that there's so many things. And this is the biggest challenge with our board of directors is, we have so much content from our online learning modules to, I mean, just everything, all the member benefits that we have. But the biggest thing, for people that are interested in being a member of the IWCA, what we are uniquely known for and what we are strongest at as an organization is education, safety, glass, and research. We do a lot of advocacy as well, but I like to think of it as, and as president of the organization, what I really want to remain true is that I want to preserve our crafts. I want to preserve the craft of how we clean glass and being professionals at it and knowing what to do, knowing how to approach the glass, knowing what kind of glass you're working on, knowing the proper tools, and knowing how you're not going to damage it, So those are the things. And glass aside, safety, it's the same thing. How you approach the building, what you know about, keeping you and your employees safe. And by the way, IWCA, we're part of the OSHA Alliance. And what that means is that all of our safety courses, basically what that means is all of our safety courses have the OSHA stamp of approval. So everything that a window cleaning company learns from IWCA it's headed, is that right to say? Stephen Bright is our safety director, and he has been there for so long. I mean, he helped develop the I-14, which is the specific OSHA standard for the window cleaning industry. And safety is so important. And when you go to a lot of these conventions and different trade organizations and their trade shows and, all of that, it's amazing how little it's discussed. Everybody's really big on growing the company and marketing and all that, which is super important. But man, if you're not safe while you're out there, you can throw all that money out the window.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
so.
Yeah, you hit around that, and I love that you guys have so many different advisors as well to help with that. Michael Draper's have been a big influence on us, and I'm so happy that he's associated with IWCA and helps. He does a lot of the training as well, along with Stephen Bright and man,
George Aguilera has been really beneficial. Yeah, he's really chipped in. And what makes me most proud about the people that we just named is, you got to figure Stephen's been leading the safety and education and safety with the IWCA for so many years. And I love the way that they are all working together. And because, at some point there has to be a torch passed, or there's just too much for one person to do. And I love how they're working together. So if those guys are listening to me right now, I'm just really proud of you, because I think that you guys are all doing great things.
Well, and you again just hit on kind of what attracted me as a business owner, who, I consider myself as kind of a generous person as far as information, because I went solo, and I started in 2000, and this is before there was YouTube, before there was like you can just join Facebook groups and stuff like that. So there was so much that I went down my path in the dark, so to speak, where I just was doing it at feeling around to see what worked.
Yeah.
And then when I would meet another window cleaner and we would talk, and he would give me a tidbit or something, I latched onto like, wow, that is such good information. I was so happy. And then you get into, online world comes and you get more information, but now it's a matter of, well, do I trust this information? Is this really the right thing? Or is this just someone who wants to sound smart?
Yeah.
The IWCA attracted me because there was not only one super knowledgeable people and super experienced and been in the industry for so many years, but they were also generous with their information, and they were doing it because they wanted to help people, not because they were trying to make a buck. And again, nothing wrong with making a buck for teaching people how to run their business. I don't have anything bad about that, but you were surrounded by people who were just very generous. And the people we just talked about, all of them are very generous with. And I loved when Stephen Bright, he won the Lifetime Achievement Award, and they had the video montage of him, and you see him for all those years, and that's what he's doing, is he's just helping people, because that's just his nature.
Yeah.
It's
And what everybody needs to, I think people forget, IWCA is a nonprofit organization. We all of board of directors, committee members, this is all volunteer work. Me doing my presidency next year and just being on the executive committee now and the board. I mean, it's because you really care, and the people that are doing it are because we have nothing to gain except for bettering and professionalizing our industry.
Absolutely.
So it's important that everybody touches on that, because I mean, if we wanted to make money, we could, I'm sure, but that's not the foundation of our organization. We're a nonprofit. So
absolutely. So now nominations for board members are coming up, right?
Thank you for asking. Yeah. So as president-elect, I am the chair of the nominating committee. I'm doing things a little bit differently this year. I think, I'm trying to identify with my nominating committee that I put together. I'm trying to identify, what does the board of directors need? And there's a couple things, but the most important thing that our current board of directors needs are leaders. We need people that want to, being a board member is a 3-year term. And within that 3 years, or after that 3 years, you can move into the executive committee. And then you go from basically secretary treasurer to president-elect to president. And I want people on the board. So we have 3 board seats open, and I want people on the board that aspire to be president of the IWCA. It's crucial to the leadership of our organization. And obviously somebody who takes that on is passionate about what we do. I mean, so that's what I'm looking for, but I'm also looking for diversity. I'm looking for people that speak out and speak their mind and bring stuff to the table that, I'm not interested in clicks. I'm not interested in just going along with the flow. I'm interested in people that really want to make a change and that will put in the work and aspire to be a leader. I mean, ultimately, that's what I'm looking for.
Awesome. Well, that sounds great. I do appreciate the outreach that the IWCA has taken in the last few years, and really trying to not only just outreach in different cultures and nationalities, but to outreach in different economic ways as well. A lot of times, or back in the day, at least I always felt like the IWCA was for people who were much more advanced than me, and me being a single owner operator, I really couldn't benefit or even belonged in the IWCA. And I feel like the messaging has changed so effectively that people are starting to see, hey, I could be a small guy, just me, or just me and one other person, and I can still be not only just someone who benefits from the IWCA, but be a member who actually contributes and can help others and help the organization reach its goals.
Yeah, if you think about our convention is really all of our breakout sessions, educational sessions, they're really more geared for the person in the field.
100%.
And so again, back to the craft and back to, you know, our trade, that's really what we gear more towards. I mean, we do a lot less. And, you know, there's different organizations that specialize in different things. We all know that. But yeah, we're definitely set up for the little guy. There's no doubt about it. And I think everybody knows that there's always been kind of this, and we all know where it came from. I mean, back in the 80s, there was a group of window cleaners that were all successful. A lot of them are high-rise companies. They got together and they formed this organization. They did it right. They wrote bylaws. They wrote a handbook. We follow parliamentary procedure. I mean, these guys did it right. I mean, they were serious about developing and creating this organization. And it's really important that we continue that. But is it changing? Everything changes all the time. So the people involved, so we're not the good old boy organization anymore. I mean, are those guys still at convention? I hope so, because they're kind of our founding fathers and we can learn so much from them. I mean, some of these people, I mean, I'll name out like Larry Green, Jack Evans. I mean, these guys, I mean, I shouldn't say names because there's too many, but these people they are still so committed after so many years. And there's no wall between the little guy and them. Larry Green always says, IWCA is all about time, talent, and treasury. So people who are leaders and involved in the IWCA, we should be giving that to our fellow window cleaners all the time. And that's the mentality of these guys. But yeah, I mean, it's our board of directors. I mean, when we talk about diversity and me finding new nominees, I'm actually looking for more people in high rise because the majority of our board of directors are residential and low rise and storefront. So it's not what everybody thinks it is. I mean, we're definitely but diversity is important.
Awesome.
So,
well, anything else you want to add before we close up, since we're just about out of time here?
No, I just, I really just want to point out that our current board of directors, for anybody that might be interested in nominating themselves or to be nominated for the board of directors for IWCA, we've sent out, they can simply go to our website and shoot an email over, say I'm interested in being a nominee for the board of directors, name, phone number, email, that's it. We'll reach out to you. Also, we have a text line. So we're finding out maybe not all of our members are getting those texts, but we're trying to reach out through email as well, through social media. So if you see those feeds come through and you have somebody in mind, please name, phone number, email. That's all we need. We'll reach out to you. But I want to have a really good election this year. I want it to be competitive. And because we're looking for a very specific type of person to be on our board. And it's 3 openings. So 3 seats, I should say, but our current board are so awesome. All of the people, I mean, our membership committee, the stuff that these people are doing. I mean, and if I start naming names, I have to name them all. So I don't know if you'll let me do that, but
you can name as many as you want. Yeah, you don't have to.
We have, I just want to point out a few people. First of all, Joe Rochello, he chairs our convention committee.
Did a great job. Yeah.
He worked so hard. We used to have an organization that ran, or like a management company that ran it for us. We're doing it on our own now. It's hard. And I've never met somebody that's put so much time into it. And he really cares about putting out a good show. So hopefully we do that in Las Vegas this year. But also I want to point out Brandy Harper. She heads the membership committee and she's one of the smartest chicks that I know. She's like a silent killer. Like she's so smart and she is so passionate about increasing our membership. Those are 2 names that I really want to bring out, but we've got some great new board members like Nate Pierce, Dave Kaminsky. We've got some outgoing like Butch Chapman, George Aguilera is outgoing, and then also Scott Aaron Krantz, Noah Peterson. Everybody knows window cleaning history. He's on our board. Greg Reed is our outgoing president. Fernando Medina and also Luis Martinez. Those are two guys from California, which by the way, we're doing a lot to outreach and get our information into Spanish. And we're also starting back to international outreach again. So I can go on and on. Who did I forget? Kevin Hargis. Everybody knows Kevin. So he's excellent for social media. But I think I've named everybody, but it's really important that I do because these people put in a lot of their time and they really care. And I'm just really proud to be in charge and lead them into next year. And, you know, it's great. I couldn't ask for better people.
Awesome. Well, I know everyone's really excited for your leadership, and we know you're going to do an excellent job as president. We appreciate everyone, you know, who's worked hard, and like you mentioned, all these names on the board. They all work really. I don't think people understand how much work they do behind the scenes that nobody ever sees except for the board members.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's all volunteer. It's all because they care about the industry and they care about safety and they care about people being successful. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you so much, Gabe.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad I get to meet you, get to know you a little better. I've met you several times, but just haven't had time to sit down and talk with you.
Yeah.
So look forward to many more conversations.
Thank you. If you can't tell, I get really excited when I start talking about window cleaning and when I start talking about IWCA. So this is like a really fun part of my day today.
Great. Well, we're going to have you back again. But thank you guys for listening. Hope you have a great weekend and take care. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, Gabe.